Good afternoon, Bethany Christian Church family. This is Pastor Kevin McNeil coming to you this afternoon on Monday, April 20th, 2020, here at the church in my office as we are all currently still dealing with this COVID virus and things that are going on in our community. I wanted to bring you guys a quick update for everybody so that we will know. I wanted to first and foremost to just say, um, as pastor to the rest of the leadership team, to the rest of the congregation, I want to thank everyone for all of the efforts in my many of you know I have dual roles in the or really in the life of our church, in that I am not just pastor at Bethany, but currently I am the moderator or acting moderator for our region. So I'm not just dealing with issues with our church, but also 147 or so churches within the region of Virginia. I mean, there have been a lot of things going on, a lot of conversations that are being had. So I'm thankful for everyone and for all of the things that we are doing. I want to first start off and say I know that there are a lot of people who've had some anxiety in reference to a lot of things that are going on in the sense of what's happening in the life of our church. Let me start by saying that Bethany is doing well. Bethany is strong. We have, of course, endured the storm as well as we have, as I said, first and foremost, in part because of our leadership team and others who are stepping up during this time to um, fill in gaps. I guess is a good way to put it. Um, we are, of course, still going to be continuing with our services on Sunday as drive-in services until such time as the leadership team, with the appropriate knowledge, are able to determine that it is safe for us to go back into our congregation. Although no one in our congregation has experienced any issues or anything with the virus, we want to make sure that we're keeping everyone safe. And so, while I know that there have been issues with some preachers and in churches and other areas that seem to be going against the grain, the fact that God gives us a sound mind, as I said Sunday, and we are to use that sound mind and listen to sound advice and stay safe. And so, first and foremost, I want to thank everyone for staying safe, for taking care of themselves. Make sure that if you are coming for our drive-in services, we ask people to maintain their social distancing. I am thankful that people have come. We stay in our vehicles. And even those that get out to stretch their legs are still keeping their distance, and so there is no touching, no connecting, and so we're thankful for that. I want to thank those who have been willing to serve in special capacities while we're doing this. Of course, my sons and Karen and my wife and others. We've had some of our other youth, Mary and others who have helped sing, who have helped it with things like passing communion and things of that nature. One of the things coming up in the future we're going to be looking at is how we do communion, and maybe going to a covered cup so that with an individual served communion and wafer. Right now, what we are doing, which has been working, is what has been recommended, um, that two cups, with one with the wafer and the other with the juice, that are stacked on each other. And so I want to just let everybody know that we are looking at other options as well. And even when we come back together, we will be exploring what are the safest ways, especially in those initial months, to make sure that we're still watching out for the safety and health of everyone as we're going throughout this time. As it stands right now, the target date still is June 10th is the date. And so one of the things that we're looking at is that even though on June 10th, if it comes down that we are able to come back together, that we may wait until the first Sunday in July, just to give people an opportunity to that wait a couple of extra weeks. So maybe that last Sunday in June, first Sunday in July, before we start to gather in congregation. One of the beautiful things, though, about our congregations, I believe that even then, once we come together, we're able to come together and worship together with a bit of spacing, and so it won't be quite so bad for anybody. We are just thankful as a leadership team for everyone who has been giving. I want to remind everybody that there are multiple ways to give. You can give online on our Facebook page. We're going to repost the link because on our website there's a link for our PayPal account. You can pay via PayPal through the website. And we are also able to, if you need to mail it in, or you can drop it at the church at the top steps of the where the ramp is. Of course, in the mail slot, you can slide it in. Or if you're delivering it during the hours of 10 and 2, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you can simply come to the door, ring the doorbell, and Shirley will come get it from you. Or if you're going to be here on Sunday and you want to pay then, that's fine, or give then, that's fine as well. So there are multiple options for giving, and so I want to thank everybody for that. Also, want to just congratulate everybody and just say how wonderful it is for the willingness of all of our congregation just to be fluid in this time. Some of the challenges that I've seen around the region and around the country, just talking with other ministers and pastors and leaders, is that there are some churches that just are unable to adapt and to change. And we have done a really good job here at Bethany of just being able to adapt and be a little fluid with the changes that are going on. What I will say to anyone who is having any issues or any trouble, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or one of the elders or someone on the leadership team and voice your concerns, and we will do our best to handle those, to take care of those. I know that there are a lot of still unanswered questions for a lot of people, and so one of the things I do want to do is make sure that we're getting information out to you as quickly as we can, as best as possible. Also, want to be mindful of the fact that we're still doing Grief Share. Grief Share has moved to online, and so if you have not yet received that information, feel free to contact the church or contact Becky Hill personally. You can do that as well, and we will make sure that you get that information for those who wish to take part in Grief Share. And so it's being done now via Zoom, and Becky has the ability, to share that with everyone as she is conducting that class. Want to also just remind everyone that on tomorrow we will be having our community table, and as we're doing community table, we're going to continue to keep our distancing, and so this month for community table, it will be via drive-through option that people who need to come and get a meal, and we have contacted many of those families that normally come, and so we're going to provide boxed meals that they can come and drive up to the church, and we will hand them the meals, full complete meals, and we're thankful for those who've given to help with that. We're looking at right now about 30 families, that we're going to be able to feed this month. And we want to thank you for your contributions. We are looking to restock our pantry, and so pantry items can be dropped off if you would like to bring them during the time beginning at 5:30 to 6:30 tomorrow. Swing through, and someone will be here at the church to get those things from you. Or if you would like to drop off Monday, Wednesday, Friday between 10 and 2, you can do that as well. We're thankful for everything. God has blessed us so tremendously during this time. It is a wonderful thing for us to be in the position that we're in. I know it's uncomfortable because we love Bethany, we love our church, we love our sanctuary. I miss being in the pulpit, and being with you all and walking through the halls and being able to hug people and to talk to people face to face. However, in this current condition, we're operating under what is, even if it's temporary, a new norm. And so we're thankful for those persons who are staying in contact and willing to reach out. As we move throughout this time, I want to remember to continue to pray for all of our sick and shut in members, for all of those who are dealing with injury, illness, or disease. Keep them in your prayers. And I encourage you to reach out to other people in the congregation as well as in your community. Staying connected. That is the thing that I think we need to make sure that we're doing more than anything else. Staying connected to each other, reaching out to people in our congregation, and binding ourselves together. As always, I am praying for you, and I encourage you to pray for each other and pray for me as I try to help out through the leading of the Holy Spirit, lead us through this time together. It is a wonderful thing to be the pastor at Bethany. I'm going to say that. I know, a lot of us have anxiety, and there are moments when I myself have to remind myself that, as I said on yesterday, God brought us through tougher times. God has brought us through other circumstances and situations, and I just believe that God is going to bring us through this, and on the other side of this, we're going to be a better congregation, a better people, better equipped to serve. I do have some wonderful news. In case you had not been made aware, I wanted to share that we did receive a $2,000 grant from Walmart, the Walmart neighborhood Walmart, to support our community table efforts as we're feeding people. And so we're thankful for that, and that will help us with buying some things that people need when it comes to families in need on a month-to-month basis. And so we're thankful for that. God has blessed us. And we also want to be reminded that because of the COVID virus that is happening right now, there are talks. I know many of our young people end up going to summer camps, whether it's Craig Springs or Piedmont District Convention's Camp and Conference. And so right now, within the next week or so, hopefully on my update next week, I'll be able to give you a definite. But at this point in time, it looks like most of those camps will be either canceled or moved into the fall. And so we are also looking for ways that we keep our youth engaged. And so there will be a couple of things that will be coming in the next few weeks that we're in, where we can create moments for engagement for our young people so that they can stay involved and stay encouraged. What I'd also like to encourage you to do as we're moving through this time, is, as I said on my message yesterday, all of us need to take moments and remind ourselves that God is still in control, that Jesus is still on the throne, that God is still able. And here, let's do something for our mental health. Find a reason to laugh. Find a reason to give God praise. Find a reason to say thank you. Put on a funny video, sing a silly song. It sounds crazy, but it is necessary sometimes for us to make sure, as we are going through our day, that we're taking opportunities to revive ourselves in Christ. The humanity of us needs that positive energy. We need those positive endorphins flowing, those positive energies, and so we want to do that. And so I invite you to make sure that every day you're doing something that's enjoyable, whether it's reading a book, or finding a funny story, watching something funny on TV, picking up the phone, calling somebody, watching a funny video on YouTube or something. Stay connected. Also, I invite you to, if you know of anyone who is not connected, connect with them, share with them our services. Every Sunday, we're going to keep going. The morning service is always going to be on Facebook Live. Our Sunday school is dual. It's Facebook Live and via Zoom. The reason I'm doing that via Zoom so that if there are people who have questions and want to actually have dialogue, you have those opportunities. And also Wednesday at 1, I'll continue to do that. So if there are questions or comments, or if there's something someone decides, hey, I want Pastor to talk about this, I have questions about this, feel free to email, to text, to shoot a message via social media, and I'll make sure that when we're doing our studies that I take care of those questions. I answer those questions for you as best I can. Um, so at this time, I just want to remind you, to remind all of us to stay safe, to stay well, and to stay happy, to stay engaged, to stay encouraged, to stay connected to Christ. As pastor, I pray for you and I thank you and I encourage you to stay encouraged today. God bless you.